Okay, the second one in the disciplines of research, whereby anthropology graduates are always needed to conduct research, okay, on behalf of organization which require data for specific purpose. Okay, you might be surprised when I mention also you can join into the corporate world, right? Okay, how is anthropology applicable to corporate world? Anthropology's image tends to be associated with exotic cultures, right, rather than the modern or corporate lifestyle. Okay, so actually anthropological knowledge is very relevant to the corporate world, okay, especially when it comes to economic anthropology. Okay, this is because economic anthropology, as discussed previously in topic 6, okay, studies an economic system within the cultural context of the study under observation. Okay, so how you can enter into this corporate world? Okay, it is because, okay, it involves research on consumer spending patterns in particular society. Okay, and also okay, it involves the data collection, right, whereby the data collected will be used to devise effective marketing strategies or to develop new products. Okay, the next one, okay, in terms of career in medicine and health, okay, medical anthropology is one of the fastest growing disciplines in anthropology in recent years. In this modern day and age, many medical conditions have emerged to seriously threaten public health. For example, okay, in the 1980s, okay, whereby the AIDS epidemic spread all over the world, okay, claiming countless casualties at a rapidly frightening rate. Okay, so medical practitioners will handle this situation by attempting to synthesize a vaccine or cure for the disease. Okay, but for the medical anthropologists, however, they study the sociocultural factors that influence the spread of the disease. Okay, so for example, they will point out that sexual promiscuity increases the possibility of someone contracting AIDS. Okay, so we can see that the different ways in order to tackle the problem. Okay, so we have to understand that in this context, prevention is better than cure. Okay, and in line with this adage, medical anthropologists can help safeguard public health, okay, by educating us on how to lead a healthy lifestyle. Okay. Okay, and then, okay, the career in terms of arts and culture. Okay, the arts and culture represents the aesthetic heritage of society. In studying any culture, we can never neglect the art objects, right? Okay, which represents the thoughts and also the feeling of its people. Okay, so cultural anthropology attempts to understand the symbolic significance, okay, of these art objects, by the people, okay, who produce them. Okay, for example, for the Malay community, Malay society, we have silat. Okay, that is a Malay form of martial arts. Okay, so this represent spirituality and also the finest of the Malay culture. Okay, so we can see that because cultural anthropologists appreciate the artistic and cultural values of society, they will do well in working in museums, such as become the curators, tourist guides, art dealers, and so on. Okay. Okay, the other career that I mentioned just now, which is related to public service. Okay, many anthropology graduates hold administrative positions in the public service as police officers, okay, soldiers, social service workers, okay, and even sometimes rehabilitation officers, okay, and many, many more. Okay, the other career that you may enter is with the NGOs, okay, non-governmental organizations, okay. So these organizations serve as pressure groups who champion various causes like for the human rights, okay, the environment, okay, and women's rights, Aboriginal rights, okay, and others. Okay, so anthropology graduates can also contribute to non-governmental organizations like, if in Malaysia we have Suhakam, Mercy Malaysia, Greenpeace, and so on. Okay, so those are the areas that you can involve. So learners, in learning sociology and anthropology, the focus is also on the patterns of interaction, okay, between men within the society. Okay, so today people do not only interact with their immediate society, but now the patterns of interactions involve a larger scope that is beyond the state's boundaries. Okay, so this is due to the globalization changes. Okay, so now we are going to learn about anthropology and globalization. What is globalization? Okay, I believe that this term is very, very much familiar to you. Okay, globalization, okay, according to Thomas Friedman, whereby he mentioned that it is a universal phenomenon which replaced the Cold War system. Okay, so have you ever heard about the Cold War system? Okay, so after the fall of Berlin Wall, okay, it gives signal to the end of the Cold War and the beginning of globalization. Okay, so basically globalization is always linked with the integrations of markets, okay, technology, technology and also information, which crosses national and also the cultural boundaries, okay, at an accelerated rate. Okay, so what is globalization? Globalization is a process of interaction and integration among the people. Okay, it is not only among the people; it also involves the companies. Okay, it involves the governments of different nations. Okay, and this process usually driven by the international trade and investment, and it aided by information technology. Okay, this process has effects on the environment, okay, on the culture, on the political systems, and on economic development and prosperity, and also on human physical well-being in societies all around the world. Okay, so we can see that basically globalization promotes free market capitalism, okay, which represents the idea that the nation's economy will improve when it opens its borders, okay, through participation in economic blocs, okay, for example, like European Economic Union and also NAFTA, okay, the North American Free Trade Agreement. Okay, so here we can see that how globalization become means in order to transform the world into a single society, okay, where there are few barriers, okay, in terms of culture, economic, and also, okay, many other aspects. Okay, what are the impacts of globalization? Okay, is globalization something good, or is it something that should be negatively viewed? Okay, so basically, the impacts of globalization is due to first, computer revolution, okay, second, in terms of the information explosion, and also in terms of global village. Okay, okay, what is the impact in terms of the computer revolution? In terms of computer revolution, we can see that in this age of computer, whereby the thought of a world without computer is almost unimaginable. Okay, when there is no computer, we feel like we cannot do so many things. Okay, office work will be disrupted. Okay, if computer systems fail to operate smoothly. Okay, so that is due to the computer revolution. The second one, the impacts, okay, that it will lead towards the information explosion. Okay, this phenomenon is closely connected to the computer revolution. Okay, and involves the transfer and exchange of information across cultural and also national boundaries. And the third one, okay, how, okay, it gives impacts toward global village. Okay, what do you think global village is? Okay, what can you understand with the terms of global village? Okay, so basically this concept is referring to the formations of global culture, which is uniform all over the world. Okay, let's say the clearest example, like McDonald's franchise, right? We have KFC franchise, which can be found anywhere in the world. Okay, so we can see that whether in America or Malaysia, okay, it's either, okay, whoever, American or Malaysian, both understand that the fast food concept promoted by this McDonald's. Okay, so they know when they go to this type of restaurant, the fast food restaurant, what they can eat, okay, how to order food. Okay, so it become global, and it is feared that this will obliterate, okay, all traces of cultural diversity, okay, and also traditional values in favor of Western capitalist imperialism. Okay, so we can see that nowadays, in order to celebrate birthday for young children, parents like to bring them to this fast food restaurant, right, to celebrate in KFC, okay, McDonald's. Okay, so what about the concepts of kenduri, right, or doa selamat? Okay, basically children prefer to go to McDonald's rather than having this type of feast anymore. Okay, and then so from what we have discussed just now, it is clear that globalization is universal phenomenon, okay, whereby it sweeps across the world, right? Okay, and it is very, very fast. Okay, it happened very fast, regardless of different cultures and also national borders. People are now adopting global culture that leads to cultural uniformity. Okay, whereby people in this world have mutual understanding about certain aspects, and they can do the same practice. Okay, so we can see, for example, the trend of the youngsters, whereby they wear jeans, they wear t-shirts. Okay, so the updated trends now is just similar. Okay, it is not only for the American, but also the Malaysian teenagers also follow the same trend. Okay, so how does globalization happen? This is what we want to understand. Okay, how it may happen. Many theories attempt to explain the process of globalization. Okay, and for the sake of our discussion, we are going to focus on two theories. Okay, in order to understand about the theories of globalization, we are going to discuss from modernization theory and also the other one from the world systems theory. Okay, the first one. Okay, from the modernization theory, it makes a comparison between traditional and also modern societies, okay, in order to explain the cultural realities of these different societies. And at the same time, it also attempts to devise a development plan, okay, in order to improve the economic conditions in developing and also at the underdeveloped countries. And according to this modernization theory, developing or underdeveloped countries are backwards because they are chained to traditional thinking, okay, which hampers their potential to grow dynamically. Okay, so you try to think of this fact. Okay, so according to this theory, when we too much focus on our traditional thinking, then we can be considered as backward. Okay, we are not modern. This theory suggests that for these countries to progress forwards, they must begin to adopt Western model of civilization. So do you agree with this? Okay, so in other words, it is stated that progress is equated with modernity as established by the West. Okay, if we do not think like them, okay, we do not act like them, then we are not considered as modern society.